If you would just indicate present, that would be awesome. Dwayne Bennett.
Present.
Herman Drew Andrews. Siobhan Fleming, present. Selima Edlure. Lauren Payne. Brenda Gutierrez, present. Mia Ballinger, present. Trina Cole. Quinn Lee, present. Sherry Gaines.
Present.
Thank you.
Madam Trustee, Trustee Fleming, do we have the form?
Yes, sir. We have.
All right, moving right along to approve the agenda from last month. Can I have a motion, please, to approve the agenda?
I motion to approve last month's agenda.
It's been a motion has been taken by Trustee Gates. Is there a second?
I second.
It's been seconded by Trustee Gutierrez. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, it's unanimous. Next item on the agenda is to approve the minutes from our October meeting. Can I get a motion?
A motion to approve the minutes.
It's been properly motioned by Trustee Bellinger. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been seconded by Trustee Fleming. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, it's unanimous. Madam Secretary, do you have anyone to sign up for public speaking?
No, sir, we don't.
Okay. All right, next item on the agenda, the director's report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How's everybody?
Great, how are you?
Good seeing you. Good seeing you as always.
It's been a long time.
It has been. It has been. Good to be seen. Again, I'd like to start out by thanking my wonderful staff, the work that they do day in and day out. So thank you very much, CCLS staff. I am Scott Parent, the director for the Clayton County Library System, and I have just a few highlights for the month of October that I would like to share with you. Our staff development day took place on October the 14th. All the branches were closed on that day. We had a wonderful turnout at the Flint River Rec Center. We had a full day of training and exercise and fun and whatnot. So it was a very, very nice event, and hopefully staff learned a lot, and we will continue this annually. Also in the month of October, Deputy Director Stanley and I got a chance to participate and hang with the members of Ray's Old School Corner. It's a group of seniors at the Lovejoy Library. And we went down and gave them some updates about the library system, some new things that were going on. And we fielded some questions from them and some concerns that they shared with us. So we made some headway on getting some of those concerns addressed, and we will continue to do so. It was a very good opportunity for us to get some feedback from a very dynamic and very active group in the Lovejoy area. So that was a good day. We have received LibTech funding. LibTech funding is money that the state library, or GPLS, provides us each year for technology improvements. There are strict guidelines in place as far as what we can utilize the funds for and what we cannot use those funds for. So this year, what we will be utilizing the LibTech funding for is to replace all of the desktop computers at the public service areas. Some of the libraries and branches, some of the computers are a little dated and they're running a little bit slow, so we're going to swap out all of those. We also are going to order launch pads for children's services. Those are very popular devices and they are checked out all the time. So we're going to beef up our inventory with those playways, with those ones. So we're very excited about that. Under partnership, it has no update, but we do have one MOU that you will probably hear being mentioned at the next Board of Commission meeting. And that is a partnership with the Atlanta Regional Commission Workforce Development. Several years ago, we had a relationship with them to where they have a mobile van or a mobile lab that they bring out to the branches. And I think Riverdale and headquarters were the two locations where the mobile lab would come to. And so folks are able to go into the mobile lab. There are staff there that helps folks with their resumes, with job search, with resumes. And so this MOU will essentially update that partnership and get that partnership back in order. So you should hear that on the next Board of Commission meeting agenda. Also in October, I think we've discussed previously, each quarter our COO, the C-suite of the county, asks the department heads to provide what they're calling a quarterly performance review. And so every department head goes in and we essentially provide an update on the progress or lack thereof of your respective area. It's televised. It's an opportunity again to show our progress, and we have been making strides in a lot of areas. In some areas we are still kind of challenged, but we express those and we are graded on that. And so for the last, this year and a half, we have received very high marks for our presentation and our progress. So that also happened in October. Sherry will probably update you on a few of the conferences that staff attended over the last month. I know I was out of the office quite a bit, and I'm just going to talk briefly about the last conference that I went to. So the Urban Libraries Council is a membership organization of all of the major urban library systems in the US and Canada. And so a couple of times a year we get together, and this October we got together in Philadelphia. Very, very good stuff. Being around colleagues who you can network with, share best practices, vent, cry on the shoulder, all of that is available. So one of the sessions that we participated in, the author Kim Scott of his book called Radical Respect gave a presentation. And the title of the book is Radical Respect, How to Work Together Better. So copies of the book were given out to all the directors. It was such a powerful presentation that I came back and had our tech services folks order a copy of the book for all of the leadership team as well as the branch managers. And I'm doing a little something different that I haven't done before, and I don't know if it has been done here, but the leadership team and I have formed a book club. And so Tuesday mornings, where we would normally have an 18 meeting, we're now having a silent book club to read through the book and discuss strategies on how we can work better together. Not just with ourselves, our leadership team, but with the remaining staff. And so we started our first one today. And we read for about, it was different, but the feedback and the information contained here is really rich. So I'm very excited about that. I'm hoping we can get through the book before Christmas, but stay tuned. But yeah, I'm excited about that. The last update I also wanted to provide is, I think last month we talked about MRR, which is major renovations and repairs. So we asked the state to provide funds to fix certain projects that we need repairs and whatnot. So the Board of Commissioners voted and approved because there's matching funds that the Board of Commissioners has to put up. So it's matching funds from state and local funding sources. So we were approved for that. In addition to that, we have a few other projects that need funding. And we met recently with a representative from the Community Development Department that they are over the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG. And so there are some projects like replacing the carpet here, which is, I had a quote probably about 3 years ago, and it was upwards of $300,000+ to replace the flooring here. Right. If you come in during the daytime, well, even prior to that, those who are familiar with the community know that this building used to be a different color. We used to call it Chick-fil-A Candy. So, and we had it painted a couple years ago. It's in need of some touch-up paint. And so we're going to ask, through this grant, for funds to repaint the building, the exterior. I don't know if we'll keep the same color combination, or we may go wild and do something crazy. I doubt it, but yeah. So those two projects we are going to ask to be funded through the CDBG grant program as well. So for the flooring here throughout headquarters, as well as the exterior painting. So stay tuned, because we will probably have to have some discussions as we move forward with that. We'll have to present that to the BOC as well for their approval to accept those funds. So that's all I have at this point. Are there any questions, any comments?
Yeah, I have just a few questions.
Yes, sir.
Going back to the notebooks or the tablets and the laptop that you currently have, when they turn those in, or the board, the library turn those in, do we turn those into surplus to get something off of it, or?
Are we talking about replacing the service desk computers?
Correct.
Yes, those machines are provided or were provided to us through the county's IT department. So we will turn them back into the IT department and they will handle the surplus of those.
And the ARC,
The Atlanta Regional Commission?
Yes.
Yes.
Is this what we were talking about a few months ago about bookmobile?
Different
thing?
Different day. Glad you mentioned that. Very excited. So it's been discussed, talked about a long time now. We are almost there. We have been talking with the graphic design team over the last couple of weeks and settled on a final design. I'll show you next month. And according to the graphic design department, that's the last step that we actually go through before they finalize all the customization of the vehicle. So they didn't give us a date yet, but we're very excited that we see the end of the tunnel. And we're very excited about that.
Okay, and will they overlap each other, our ARC and the bookmobile?
Two completely different foci. The Atlanta Regional Commission workforce, again, is to help folks find jobs. The bookmobile will be providing library services, books, resources that folks can check out in locations where we currently don't have library services.
And then lastly, about the quote-unquote upgrade in the painting, would that be a facelift for those branches that needs a facelift, exterior painting, or just, folks on headquarters?
What I spoke about earlier would be specific to headquarters. We have the other branches earmarked for subsequent years.
That's fine, thank you. Any other trustees?
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, next item, you want to say there, next item for draft will be the financial report.
Change on the paper. Excuse me. Are there any questions on the financial? It's actually kind of blah this month. Not a lot going on, we're just plodding away, spending money, books and materials on point. As I mentioned, a lot of staff went to conferences last month and the month prior to, so travel and training budgets are getting spent down. Supply monies are being spent down, so we're in good shape.
Yes, I had an opportunity to go through each one and each slide. You go where you want to go.
That's it.
Okay. All right, can I get a motion on the financial report?
Motion to approve the financial report.
Thank you, trustee Bellinger. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been seconded, properly seconded by trustee Abdullah. Are there any questions? Hearing none, can I get a motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposers? It passes unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item we have will be the deputy clerk's report.
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right, so during the month of October, we had such amazing activities and events going on. So let me share a little bit. We know that October, breast cancer awareness month, fire prevention month, continued National Hispanic Heritage Month, the Day of the Dead. We had a lot of fall festivals, and there are so many holidays and observances in the month of October. But I want to go over just a few that we hosted here at the Clayton County Lottery System. For the adult program department, we had 131 programs with 3,092 participants. For youth services, we had 157 programs with 3,274 participants. This month, I got a chance to host the Coffee with the Librarian. And so we had a guest speaker, Kay Henderson, and she is a remarkable woman. She had an inspiring story about her journey as a breast cancer survivor. And so some of her highlights were basically the community resources, the support groups, and regular medical checkups. And so that was such a treat, and we thank her for doing that for us. We also attended the Show on the Road on October 17th. This is hosted by Chairman Jeffrey Turner. This was a great opportunity for staff to engage citizens and talk about our resources, talk about what we're doing here at the Clayton County Lottery System. There was a Decatur Book Festival. This is the thing, and what I want, the beauty of Clayton County Lottery System, if you are a resident or if you're not in the county, if you're in the county or out of the county, you can still obtain a lottery card. And so we participate in a lot of different outreach events. And so Decatur Book Festival, this was a vibrant event, but we got a chance to talk to different citizens about what we can do in Clayton County, the different events, the different resources that we have. We also continued with National Hispanic Heritage Month, and this was absolutely amazing. We had 4 guest speakers, and it was just so enriching for me because I got a chance to attend, and for Trustee Brenda Gutierrez, amazing, and Councilman Gutierrez, we had so much fun. So the Headquarters Youth Services Department celebrated National Hispanic Heritage Month every Tuesday morning for story time, Wednesday afternoons, and we had our building and maintenance, Mr. Alex Treves. He got a chance to come over. He's our supervisor for building and maintenance. Our assistant director, Mr. Mendoza, got a chance to read, as well as Trustee Brenda Gutierrez, as well as Councilman Gutierrez. And so Riverdale Branch on October 17th, Trustee Gutierrez got a chance to go, but also our Trustee Sherry Gates, she actually went for support. And this was just such a wonderful experience. And it was Jen, we call her Jen, her name is Jennifer Wynn. And she called me right after the event and she said, Sherry, let me tell you, this was amazing. They did amazing. And I was in a meeting, but I was like, was it amazing? Was it amazing? You know, I was whispering, and it was just she was so overwhelmed because she was like, everyone was just having such a great time. It was so great. I learned about the history, and that's what it's about. It's about educating, it's about literacy, but it's about having fun while doing it. And so, thank you so much for that. It was absolutely amazing. And also, I got a chance to participate here at headquarters on October 23rd. So this was Trustee Gutierrez as well as Councilman Gutierrez. And we got a chance to see, you know how you do the head, shoulders, knees, and toes? So we got a chance to do it in Spanish. And I learned it all. And then I forgot, but I played it back. And it was just so fun. I had such a great time. We were in the back. I know you guys saw us, and we were in the back just yelling and screaming, louder than the children. But it was so wonderful, and we had such a great time. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Also, October was Fire Prevention Month. And so the Forest Park Branch hosted Fire Prevention Month with the public safety educator, Anthony Gallman. And so he was from the city of Forest Park, and he did a remarkable job talking about fire safety, but an emphasis on making sure that we check our smoke detectors at home. And so for our Library Ambassador Board, if you would remember, we had them come and they got a chance to kind of talk to you about their different activities, different events. Their induction ceremony, we got a chance to go to their induction ceremony, and we have 14 newly appointed inductees. And so this was so wonderful. The one thing about it, we have such a supportive board. We had a lot of our board of trustees there, and we were so excited. And it was such a beautiful induction ceremony. We now have 21 members. And this teen advisory board, the idea is that this group is like a teen advisory board. They tell us what it is that teens want to see. And they also talk to their peers about coming into the library system. And so this teen advisory board is led by Rebecca James, our Assistant Director of Youth Services, as well as Ashley Neeland. And she's a Youth Services Library Assistant at the Morrow Branch. And so one thing I wanted to talk about is we have a calendar of events online, so you can see everything that's going on at our branches. Type in www.claytonpl.org. But also, our director talks about at Ray's Old School Corner getting feedback, and we get feedback from our patrons, but we want to hear from everyone. So we do have an online suggestion box. If you go to the online website, you go to the bottom, you'll see our online suggestion box. So we want to hear from the community. We want to hear what it is that programs that you would like to see, initiatives that you would like to see, because this drives us and helps us to create more and more better programs. Okay. And so also, the director talks about professional development. One thing is we want to really focus on professional development in order to become experts in our field, to make sure that we stay with the trends, to make sure that we're knowledgeable in our area. We promote professional development. And it's what you're interested in. It's things that benefit you, but you can also choose things that you're interested in, because we want to represent everyone. And so our Assistant Director, Richard Coleman, and two of our managers, Mr. Richard Evie from, Mr. Evans from Riverdale and Barbara Rhodes from Morrow, they attended the Georgia Libraries Conference in Athens, Georgia, and that was from October the 2nd through the 4th. Also, our assistant directors, Rebecca James and Rafina Ozo, they attended the Association of Bookmobile and Outreach Services Conference in Indiana. And that was from October the 14th to the 17th. And they got a chance to present. Both of them got a chance to present as far as Dr. Ozo Outreach Services, Rebecca James Youth Services. And this was an absolutely wonderful experience. And so thank you to them for presenting and representing Clayton County Library System well. Any questions from my report?
I have a question. I've said it before, and I'm going to continue to say until the cows come home, and wherever those cows are located at, that Director Barham, I thank you for your leadership.
Absolutely.
Deputy Director Stanley, I thank you for your leadership. There's never a board meeting that I attended that either one did have inspiring things to say that you would be doing. And I really would take Clayton Library System and put it against any library system in the state of Georgia out of 159 counties. And I know that we will come out on top because we are doing amazing things. And I'm just full with joy for what y'all doing. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
I would like to piggyback on what the chairman said. I think you all are doing an amazing job. I got a chance to attend the staff development day, and I got a chance to stay the entire day. And it was so well put together, well organized. And I'm trying not to take up a lot of time, but I just want to highlight a couple of things that I experienced. Spending that day, I learned a lot that I think is going to help me be a better advocate and also to do my job as a trustee better. Our director, did a law librarian segment, and I would love for him to maybe present to the board at some time. I got a lot of good information out of that. Like I said, I'm not gonna do too long, so I'm gonna go through everything. I also attended, they had breakout sessions. So I chose the leadership pathway, breakout session. And I also chose, we were talking about programming. We were just talking about programs. I chose the programming breakout session. Session. And, I learned a lot, and I just appreciate all the effort, all the time, all the organization. I know all of the work that you all put into those kind of presentations for the staff, and I'm so glad that I can get the opportunity to attend also. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for those wonderful comments, because the one thing about it is we really do have great staff. Director always says thank you to the staff, but we really have people who are passionate, that feel the need, that they want to make sure that everyone's represented, and that if there's a gap, they want to make sure that they close that gap. So we thank the staff because they work so hard, and really every branch, I used to always say, they have a different personality. If you wanna sip and paint, you go to this branch. If you wanna be a character, you go to this branch. And so now we find a lot of patrons are traveling. So just as when I was at a branch, I thought that this patron, I was like, y'all, they only like us. And they were like, no, we go to this on Mondays, this. I was like, really? But they travel because it's a different experience everywhere you go, different personalities, but everyone does such a great job within their branches. And we really do have great branch managers leading our teams.
To piggyback off of that as well, we spoke about the different branches and the programs. For some reason, my sister, who's supposed to be the matriarch of the family, she's supposed to be the lead, and I'm supposed to follow. I'm leading, and she's following me. But since coming on this board, as I said, I never had any idea what the library does, and neither did she. Now, she's over at Northwest attending the knitting class. Knitting? Oh, Shane, what are you doing? But she enjoys it.
Yeah.
She enjoys it, takes up her time other than staying at home, let her mind run. So she finds herself, when those classes are available, over at Northwest to attend. And so I thank you, for that, because it's really keeping her active.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay, next item on the agenda would be the committee report, Madam Secretary.
Okay. So we'll begin with our advocacy committee. I can share that I've had the pleasure of going to quite a few different events this past month. They, like you all have said, have been absolutely amazing. So again, kudos to our leadership. If y'all have not been to one of the events, please pencil in your schedule. They're really amazing, guys. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And also I've had the pleasure of taking advantage of some of the resources this past month coming in to get things printed and things of that nature. So just having that accessible when work and or home may not be available, we always have the library to go to. So that's pretty amazing. But I'll hand over to the ladies of the advocacy committee if you guys have anything additional to share.
For me, just thank you for having me. I feel like I cannot, I'm very honored that you guys asked me to come back. I really do appreciate how organized the staff is. The staff really is great because they already contacted me to come do a reading for December. So I get the honor to be with Yes, so I'll definitely keep you guys posted when they send me the flyer for that. But I do have the date, I just didn't bring it, December 18th or 19th. One of them during that week, I know it's that Wednesday. But it'll be here at headquarters, yes. So thank you for that.
Yes.
And I do want to add on to like all the great events that happen at the library, but just going to the individual different libraries, I like how they highlight different books in different areas, just for the whole community. Like when I was at Lovejoy, I believe they had like a Spanish, books area, which I really appreciated. And I believe when we were at the training at Forest Park, I had a chance to kind of walk around after our training, and I really liked they had a wellness table. I believe everyone's kind of focused on like different, like mental health, physical health, spiritual health. So I was like, wow, this is great information. I just really appreciate, like I said, all the great stuff that our library staff and branch managers can do.
Thank you.
Well, I do, just 3 minutes real quickly. I do want to shout out the staff, the customer service. The day that you had your, coffee with the librarian, I was unable to stay because I was on another task. And I was looking kind of rough anyway, and I didn't want to be before the camera. I didn't even recognize myself. I was looking that rough. But I needed something printed off. And all I had was the pine card and a little knowledge of how to operate that printing. I thought it was a little more simple, but your staff, they didn't recognize me, but the customer service was beyond. I mean, I can't even compare it. It's better than Chick-fil-A. The patience that first the young lady had with me, and I had to come back a couple hours later, and then the gentleman to walk me through that process, how to get the information off my phone and onto that printer, and then me getting what I needed. They were very, very patient, and it's like they gave me like a workshop in what, three minutes. So now I'm able to help some other folks. But I just want to shout them out. My mind is heavy, so I can't remember the names, but I do want to let you know that they were incredible. And I really appreciate their patience, and they didn't make me feel old.
Thank you for that.
Can I publicly,
Yeah.
can I publicly congratulate you, Mr.
Oh, just
Andrews?
See,
I didn't know that you were gonna be recognized at the Board of Commissioners meeting.
Oh! Better another month.
I almost missed it myself because I had some other things going on. And thankfully, I was stuck on my phone. But thank you.
Yeah, I saw that somewhere, and I'm like, he didn't even mention that
Yeah.
in his group. Yeah, so
Yes,
I'm sorry.
I would have tried harder to get there.
yes, absolutely.
But congratulations on being recognized as a veteran of the land.
Thank you.
I was
And
very
thank you for those who stood up with me, because I don't have any family here, so the community is my family, and so they stood up with me. But thank you.
Well, I think it was, taking my thunder, because I was going to mention.
Oh, I'm sorry, Chair. I won't say anything else. I'll say it for the next meeting. I have something else to say.
But no, I just wanted to acknowledge that we did have a veteran on this board, and we want to thank him for his services. I did, of course, I've been out for an injured son and also death in the family. It's been taking a toll on my family, and I did not get an opportunity to attend the DOC meeting, but I did see it online. I was amazed, surprised too.
Yeah, we did.
That he was getting up for this award. I'm like, wait a minute now. But I thank you, Director and Deputy Director, for standing in for the board, for him to help him bring his delegate leadership into play, that everyone knows that he's a true veteran with so many years of service. nothing else, Madam Secretary, last week we skipped over the bylaws,
Yes, sir.
and, we're going to unfinished business. And that unfinished business will be the board of trustee term and expirations.
Okay. So just to revisit, we did have one renewal that we shared with you all last month. So we're glad to have Ms. Gutierrez back again. Thank you so much. And then we do have one that now is a vacant spot, Ms. Miller. She's no longer with us, but we again thank her for her service to the library board. And so that seat is now open. We have had the pleasure of making a recommendation. That seat is over District 1. And so we hope that it will be on the agenda at the next Board of Commissioner meeting to finalize and bring on that new board member. So we will follow that closely and keep you all posted in that regard. And then we will be also, we're proud to say that, I know this is a little far in advance, so we'll go ahead and share that Mr. Andrews will be renewing. His term is not until February, but we are already in the works with that, so we're excited about that. That will be all for our term expirations.
Okay. The next item we have will be the bylaws revision.
So everyone should have a copy of the bylaws in its amount. If you flip through it, there are a couple sections that are highlighted in yellow. I'm actually going to start on page 8 first, and then we'll get caught up and come back to the front and work our way back. So if you recall last month, we voted and approved to add this language in the bylaws regarding public comments. I apologize in advance, we kind of jumped the gun a little bit. There are some other colleagues of mine across the state who were dealing with the same language in their bylaws, board of trustees meetings, et cetera. In talking with legal representation, it has been suggested that we omit this language in our bylaws, have it as a guideline or a procedure as opposed to it being in the bylaws. Having it in the bylaws could be an infringement on First Amendment rights for someone. And so we cannot necessarily, by law or by the bylaws, dictate how someone behaves or performs their meetings. We can ask them, of course, we can encourage certain respect and dignity, but we cannot put it in our bylaws. And so we will have to omit or remove this language. And what we discussed, Madam Secretary and Chair, is on the public comment sign-in sheet, have the language on the sign-in sheet, as well as in accordance with the Board of Commission meetings where it's read by the clerk. We will also read the same language before the public comments happen, so that folks are encouraged to be respectful and not to say demeaning things. But we do need to remove it from the actual bylaws documents. Okay, so that's the first one. So if we now jump to page 2, there was some additional language that was suggested to be added to the bylaws. At the top of the page, you will see number 2, be willing to join a committee and actively participate in a committee. Going further down, number 7, members of the Library Board of Trustees should not engage in self-promotion, self-campaigning for public office, or campaigning for others running for public office during library events, functions, or on the premises. Going further down, section 5, attendance. All Board of Trustee members must inform the executive officers that they will not be able to attend the meeting at the earliest possible opportunity. I think the language we had there was 24 hours, but again, if you don't know that you're going to be absent under that 24-hour window of time, so we changed the language in that. Page 6, Article 4, meetings of the board. The zip code on the address was incorrect, so we just need to make that slight modifications, 30236, not 30238. So that's a minor one that we can change. The other language, and I'm not sure how the board wants to address it, is section 5 on page 7 about the quorum and voting. Currently, it says no official business may be conducted at a board meeting without a quorum present. A majority of the appointed trustees serving on the board shall constitute a quorum. 6, for the transaction of business at any meeting. For example, if there are only 8 appointed trustees, a quorum will require 5 trustees to be present. Each board member, including the chair, shall be entitled to 1 vote. So with a full board of 11, the majority of that would be 6. However, if there's a vote that comes about where 3 are in favor and 3 are opposed, then we're kind of in a situation to discuss again if that quorum number needs to be 7 or a percentage or ratio. So, and I have to leave that up to the board to decide if you want to include a specific number or a ratio of members of the board for that quorum. And we don't have to finalize or come to any agreement now, but we do need to have it up for discussion for the board wants. Okay. Now, I have had the opportunity, and there are some resources online, and this is from quorum definition online, and it says what is a quorum, definition, best practices, examples, and FAQs. And so I can send this out if you think it may be helpful. It talks about establishing a quorum number or ratio, how to establish that quorum, what happens when you have a quorum initially, and then some folks leave. So all those things that we may need to again address and put in the bylaws. Okay. Let's see, and I think there was one other, yes, on page 11, midway down, section 11, attendance at public library director meetings, the last sentence. In the event that the library director is unavailable, an alternate designee may attend. I think the original language is that I have to be there and everything. Again, something comes up and I can't, then Sherry or designee shall be appointed. And I think those are all of the amendments or edits that were suggested and we applied to the bylaws. So I think at this point, the most pressing or prudent one is the language about public comments.
Correct.
And then if we want to review the others and then come back next meeting and put it to an actual vote, I think that may be appropriate.
All right, well, I'd like to is there a motion to remove the public comments from our bylaws at this time? Okay, thank you, trustee Lee, for making the motion. Is there a second? So, trustee Abdul, thank you. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. So we remove that from the bylaws. Mr. Director, everything else?
Yes, question.
Yes, oh, I'm sorry.
I just had a question. Are the only other items, are the additional edits? Because I know the only thing that there was some discussion around was, which one was the form, right? Whether we wanted to go with the majority or whether we wanted to go with the percentage, right? But all the other edits are already in there. So is it possible to just go ahead? I don't know, do we need time to look through those edits? I mean, it's pretty clear cut. Is that something that we can vote on now, or do you still?
We can do it now.
The only item left would be the chart, and that could be a discussion.
All right, so, the form is now open for discussion. Do we have a number or the majority?
I think the question was the other edits that were highlighted in yellow, if we could go ahead and vote on those,
Okay, well,
because they're pretty straightforward.
yes.
And then we, at the next meeting, if I'm
That's
understanding
correct,
properly,
yes.
Okay,
We
I
can
understand
discuss
now.
that.
I got you, I understand now. All right. Hearing about the other edits, other than the forum. Are there any questions on, well, let me make a motion first. Is there a motion to go ahead and accept and adopt the edits that's already been proposed before you?
I motion that we accept the edits to the bylaws as presented.
Okay, it's been properly moved, there's a second.
I second.
Been properly moved and seconded by, trustee Andrews, are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. All opposed, it passes unanimously.
yes, ma'am.
And you're gonna send us that information so that we can have a substantive discussion around which one we prefer?
Absolutely.
And that will be my question with it, but I didn't see it, trustee, George next week, Hannah. She's on the bylaws committee, so just send everything to her.
Okay.
And that way.
And she'll disseminate it to them.
Right, send everything to her. All right. Is there anything else into the bylaws? All right then. Okay, well, we're at the end of the journey. We're at the end of our journey. All right, there's no new business at this time. Again, prior to going to our adjournment, the two things I'd like to touch on, I'd like to once again thank our absent trustee, Ebony Miller, for her dedication to this board, whose term ended on November 2nd, 2024. And I just want to thank her for her service. If she's watching, if she's not watching, if she has reviewed this, she will hear that we acknowledge her presence for her service on this board. I also like to acknowledge that some of our members are out because of sickness, death, and so what have you. I'm going through a situation. Trustee Ballinger is going through some situation. Trustee Andrew's going through a situation. So we're all going through some situation. I ask that for our viewers to keep us in prayer. Keep us in prayer. We're going to get through this as the holiday approaches. And as the holiday approaches, I ask each member here and each library staff to be safe. Be safe on the roadway, because we won't see anyone again until December. Be careful in your travels, have a good time. Don't drink and drive, which is my motto. And don't do anything that's going to cost your freedom or cost your life. So, hearing nothing else, does anyone have anything else? Okay, I'm not. I get a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All right, it's been properly moved by trustee Abdul. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
It's been seconded by trustee Fleming. Are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Good night.
Good night, thank you.
Thank you all.